my love strings are very long and deep. So when
Yes.
I love you, I really, really, really love you. And I feel, that love is unconditional, right? And love should not keep count of all the hurts. And when you start loving from that point and you're not getting it back, that's when it's problematic, right?
Emotionally unavailable.
I moved it because I was like, "Oh, there's a shadow," and no, it's hurting me a little bit. Well, it's very nice to meet you. I'm so excited you're here. Okay,
Same.
I'm so sorry. I'm such a talker, and I'm not gonna not be a talker right now because I'm really excited. For one, I just feel this overwhelming need to tell you I'm so proud of you for writing this book.
Mhm.
I think because I know why you did it the way you did it, or at least I feel like I do because I did write a book and it ended up being like a what's I always have to go fiction, fake, nonfiction, um, a nonfiction, a very, very brief, like, this it's called Owning My Crazy, and it was just, like, about it was my story of childhood,
Mhm.
um, and I had always wanted to, but for a long time, I thought I really wanted to really go into that creative world and write it based off my story, but, like, the way you did. I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
And
Exactly.
then yeah, there's times I still wanna do that because,
Do it. It's never too
the
late.
I really might.
You should.
But the freedom I think that you have in that and because it is still so real and
Mhm.
it's from you and it just you get to go deeper, I think, than you would if you were just recalling facts. You
Yeah.
just
And I
right?
I I wanted and I kinda wanted to tell it in a way a few things. I wanted people because I always got the, "Why did you stay? Why do you stay? Why do they stay? Why do you stay? You had so many times to leave. You know he was bad. You knew he was this. You knew he was that." So I kinda wanted to dive into that, explain his somebody actually told me charm harm, like, explain the charm harm dynamic, right? But the other thing was because there's a love story component to it, and not with him, a neighbor moves in next door that, catches her eye, right?
Mhm.
So, I think not I think, when I was writing it, it was like, that's kinda probably a fantasy that I had that I wanted to happen,
An escape,
for somebody
yeah.
to come and save me or tell me how worthy I am as a instead of so I think that was kind of the love story part of it that I threw in there. That was just what I really wanted. And I've
Yes.
noticed that, I have a song called Without You, and, I wrote that because typically my songs are about a relationship, but this is the one I want. So let me write a song about what it would be like without you if I had that someone.
Yeah.
So I'm rejecting.
Yes. No, and I love it, and I feel like you're living my dream, a part
Aw.
of my dream. Like, I feel like I'm living my dream, but, like, I was just thinking the other day, like, you really could do more with the music or whatever, I wanna look really quick at your profile again because there was something that I was like, "Holy shit, this conversation is so well timed." I don't know if I'm gonna remember it. Um, I think I think what I felt after reading it again, because that's kinda what I do is like, "Who am I talking to today?"
Mhm.
Um, because this last week well, particularly in the last few days I don't know if you're familiar with that Brandy Carlisle song, "The Story," but
I'm not.
oh my gosh, it's
Now
very
you're
old. I just came across it because she did a duet or like a yeah, a duet with, Dua Lipa, and I just came across it on TikTok, but what was crazy is I had been humming lines of this song for the last few months, so I'd heard it somewhere, but, like, I didn't
uh-huh,
really know the lyrics.
uh-huh.
But It just talks I think it's just about the evolution of self versus who self is in a relationship. I mean, this is my interpretation, I don't know what she meant, but
Mhm,
I think where I felt so drawn to you is the idea that I think we stay in lots of situations for lots of reasons. And yes, you had a harmful dynamic that kept you there, but I think people stay in jobs, in friendships, in hobbies even that aren't meant for them out of fear and it so many fears and shame that compounds that fear that compounds the shame. And so I think this journey I've been on recently in evaluating myself in relation to all the men that I've ever loved was I I was begging them to see my greatness and to validate my greatness because I had a sense that that greatness was there, but I couldn't do that for myself at all because I tore myself down over and over from all that programming of caregivers that tore me down in childhood. But I think we're on similar journeys. I think this is the human experience truly. But like you've discovered what I've discovered, which is just that like I'm the center of this and what I need to do to be
mhm.
different.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so
and,
cool.
it was just a lot of soul surgery, that's what I call it, and, um, I love what you said because this is kinda it came to me, maybe a few weeks ago, so you just reminded me. The next time someone says, "Why did you stay?" The question is, "Why did you stay at that job? Why did you stay in a rela" not that it was abusive or anything like that, but why did you stay? You knew it wasn't good for you. You knew it was a toxic environment. Why did you stay in that friendship? Why did you like, all of it. It's the same premise, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks a few weeks ago, and then you just brought it up. I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta touch on that," because it really is the same concept. Just like everybody knows Nikki will not stay in a job that doesn't work for her. But to other people,
Mhm.
it's like, I gotta make my money. I can't stay. I can't, I'm that risk taker, but I stay, but my love strings are very long and deep. So when I
Yes.
love you, I really, really, really love you. And I feel, that love is unconditional, right? And love, you should not keep count of all the hurts. And when you start loving from that point and you're not getting it back, that's when it's problematic, right? So so I'm learning, this is my new learning of today, is to put some training wheels on this love I got because it's deep and I will love you to the ends of the earth. M But I now have to protect myself because when I see that you're not giving it back and you're just taking, you know, here lies the problem. So that's where I am now.
Well, and
And
they say that the givers are always giving too much because the takers will just continue to take. But I think too what you're
whew,
touching on is so important because something that I really had to tell myself in relation to people in general, or I tell myself because I learned this, but
mhm,
is that these qualities that we project onto others, it is the good we see in ourselves but subconsciously and it's not them. And I was one day like I don't even I've had this whole spiritual awakening and whatever in the last couple of years. But so whatever lesson I was on this day, it was why are you missing these people? And it was because that addiction to trying to get them to see my light, to
ah,
validate light.
yep,
And it is an addiction because
it is.
we learn these patterns in childhood and then we recreate them over and over until we disrupt the pattern. But it is toxicity is an addiction. It truly is. And so if you're
Mhm.
used to getting chemicals from the ups and downs, because I was kind of the psycho in my relationships. And
At least you own it.
when I say was, let me tell you, I was just talking to someone yesterday about how I'm still working on not being a shitbag to my husband with my mouth, just,
Aw.
just saying something shitty, just as quick as it can come out. And then I'm like, but I used to be super jealous, super insecure, lots of narcissistic traits. very controlling, not in the way that it looks when men are doing it, so it's kinda, like, pretty covert, honestly. Like,
Right.
yeah, I could have been easily labeled as a bitch, but there was so much stuff underneath there, you know?
Right, right.
But my whole thing really was just getting to a place of understanding, like, if I cultivate this love within, I don't have to try to get this from another person. I happen to surround myself with emotionally unavailable people because I was also that, not realizing it. And I'm just discovered literally in the last couple of months, I have still a struggle with trust, like a fear of trust, because
Right.
if I give you this trust, you will you will break
You're
it,
vulnerable.
and it might break me.
Mhm. It's so funny
Yeah.
because I had that conversation this morning. It's so
Really?
crazy. I had that conversation this morning because I have been in a relationship for 6.5 years. Without going into details, it's an amazing, beautiful relationship. We've never had an argument, not to say we don't disagree, but there's some stuff that he needs to handle, I'll say that.
Mhm.
And because of that, there I have this little hold on all of my love, right? You got most of it, but you don't have all of it.
Mhm.
But this morning I woke up and I felt like giving all of it to him. Just, you know what? God, universe, it is what it is. And I literally had this download with now he's going to come to you right the way you want because you're exposing the vulnerability. And that's what was told to me because I called my friend and I was saying all of this. And it's like, yeah, you've been holding on because you don't want to get hurt anymore. And that exposes the vulnerability.
Yes.
And now that you have just said, I'm good, because what my declaration was, you know what? I'm gonna love him openly as is, come as you are. And he goes, that was a very big statement for you because now you're laying yourself bare again, you know?
Yes.
But I'm gonna do it. And Melissa, if anything happens, I'm calling you for to
Please
cry
do.
your
Oh my god, you have to keep me posted on this. First of all, today's the Libra new moon, and it's all about
Yes, it is.
relationships.
Yes, it is.
Uh, but yes, okay, so this has kind of been where I'm at, which is what allowed me to start to see my fear of trust,
Mhm.
because what I learned was I have this huge betrayal wound, and so I create all these expectations, and then when you don't meet them, though I never fucking communicated an ounce of them to you, betrayal.
Right.
Betrayal, and it
And
wasn't
then
just
you're out.
I
You're
feel
gone. I don't
betrayed,
want to
and it's
deal with you.
you are the center of all of the betrayal in my life.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm just trying not to have expectations, and I'm trying to understand, A, we're a mirror for each other. So anytime I'm
Oh,
pissed at you, I'm pissed
yes.
at me. What am I pissed at me about? I'm always like trying to approach everything with curiosity now. Some of the bitchiness truly is just I get a little bit in autopilot on something. I get agitated over something, and now you're a threat to my survival because you're external of me, and I was just internalizing something, no big. I mean, thankfully, he's got the patience of a saint. I'm probably going to learn every single lesson through this man because he got his
Mhm.
faults. Don't play, but they just happen to be ones I can tolerate now. Like
Right, right, right.
before, though, I was constantly searching. I have been married to this man for, I think, 13 years. Yes, since 2012.
Oh,
And
wow.
we've been together a few years before that. And I don't think there's been a week of this relationship where I wasn't like, maybe we should break up. Like, because I'm constantly trying to protect myself. And here's where it's really
Yes.
tough. I feel very righteous in my thought. Like, I'm like, no, I'm for sure right. I'm for sure right. Like, he's for sure fucking up. And I just learned, like, you have to believe that this is just your confirmation bias and you're just lying to
Yeah.
yourself to protect
Yeah.
yourself.
Correct.
I have not felt that as like, when you have the aha, like you even had one this morning and you feel the shift. I haven't felt that yet, but
Mm.
logically I'm easing into it to where at least
Yeah,
I'm
and it'll
recognizing
catch up to
patterns
you.
now.
It'll catch up to you. It'll
Yeah,
catch up to you.
eventually. But damn, but see, I got major shit in Libra, so like all my stuff's gonna come through relationships. So this is a really big pattern I'm unraveling, and I just kind of a couple days ago was like, it's fine. Like, what did you think you were gonna like reach nirvana by 45 and like be so enlightened that you could what bless the earth? Like
Yeah,
what?
and here's the thing. This is the thing, because you think once you get on this spiritual journey, right? Because I've been on this one now, what, I'm going on 7 years. You think that there's a point where you're like, okay, we're good. But I'm learning that you're always learning and you're always
Yeah.
evolving, and that you're really, as a person full of so many fucking problems, excuse my French, so many
Oh
fucking
no, no,
problems
we can that's on this show.
that it's never ending. You solve one thing and your body's like, "Good, I'm glad you got that. I'm gonna give her about a week. Did you know about this?"
And sometimes not even a week, and I'm like, what? I, I just needed a little rest. And now it's gotten to where I'm like, okay, what I don't love the way I feel at the end of that. So what
Mhm.
should I do going into the next thing? Because sometimes I'll white knuckle through a crisis, and then other times I am just so zen, and I'm like, oh, can't phase me, honey, can't phase me, can't, But it really is like ultimately that
I
love that
gotta
I've
stop you.
cultivated for
White
myself.
knuckle through a crisis.
Yes, girl, yes. And you can feel it in every ounce of your body because you're just so tense, and then I'm like, no wonder, no
I
wonder I'm
heard
over here
that one
cussing
before.
at my husband.
That's great. Boy,
It's
this thing called
true.
life, and these people call humans. It's crazy. It's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy
I think
because
for me, it's I think learning to have that, like, unconditional positive regard for myself and that compassion, I'm able to extend that to others now, and I
yes.
think the reverse was true before where I was so judgmental of so many things, experiences, places, people, and it was all because of the judgments I made on myself,
But
and
again, you
so
said it. It's a mirror. And then
yes,
one of the biggest things is I try to tell people you only get out of life what you put in. You are attracting everything that you're putting out there. So if you're
yes.
mean spirited, what's going to be around you? You're pissed off all the time because you're inviting all those situations in. I can take it as dumb as I can't stand Tesla drivers, and I try not to say that anymore because sorry if you drive a Tesla, but you probably drive really badly. Anyway, um,
Cars
for
weren't meant to drive themselves, I don't care what anyone says.
exactly. So when I was really like, I can't stand, it seemed like the moment I pull out of the garage, Tesla, 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 and they were all driving bad. And I was like, you know what? I'm attracting this because I'm so just that they're coming for me. So let me just love on the Tesla drivers, and I've been getting some that drive pretty good now. But it
Oh,
really
I'm
it
dead.
they're
I saw
driving
one the other day that said, on the back it said, "Anti-Elon Tesla Club," and I started laughing. I was like, "Okay, well, I
how does
guess."
that work? Like you're
Yeah,
totally
I was
driving.
like, "So you bought it
You from
because
his
of the what?"
cousin? Like what?
Like, right, I was like, "Okay." I mean, I can understand the spirit in which this was intended, so I will allow it, but
Mhm.
Cybertrucks, that's a whole other story.
Oh, God.
Um,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, I think, I can remember feeling triggered, obviously, by the idea that I was attracting experiences, like, but if you break it down to just a scientific level, what you focus on grows. And so there is a reason that when your friend gets the yellow car, you start to see the yellow car everywhere on the road. I mean, that's just the way our brains work. It's
Mhm,
confirmation bias. And I
mhm,
think just understanding that as deep as I can
mhm.
get right now, and I know that's the layers I'm still uncovering, but man, every single time that I told myself I couldn't share myself with people, because I was gonna be told I was too sensitive, or, they were just gonna respond in some imperfect manner,
Right,
however
it
I mean, God, I don't even know what I wanted because it was never right. It was never right. No one
right,
ever, except for that, maybe I just wanted them to be like, "Oh, damn, mhm," and validate, but if they this is embarrassing for me to say, but if someone was like, "I'm so sorry, pissed, I'm pissed." I don't know why. I don't know why I was like that because
When's your birthday?
don't like don't say I'm so sorry and that be the
I
only
I
thing.
hate when people say, "I'm so sorry." You know, I don't know what
I
that is,
I don't know why it pissed me off
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Do you
and
think that people is it like if that's the only thing they can say, then it's like they don't really care? Is that what my brain like, is that what our brains are saying? I don't
I
know
don't
why
know.
it bothers
But
me.
if I'm honest, I just think that's a a bad answer to but it's a safe one for those who don't know what to say. But it's a
Yeah.
bad answer. And, like, when my mom passed, people always go and I say this because I've talked to people who've also lost loved ones, and the worst thing you could say to them, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Okay, say something else. I can take my condolences better than, "I'm sorry." What are you sorry about, though? Like, you're sorry
Yeah.
for loss, I get that, but it just sounds so like, I don't know what else to say, so I'm sorry.
Mhm. But see, I think I was equally pissed with, like, saying nothing because you didn't know what to say. Like, that felt really
Yeah, that too.
lonely. You know
Y
what I
y
mean?
Are you a Capricorn? What?
No, honey, let me tell you what I am. I'm an Aries rising, a Gemini sun, and a fucking Leo moon.
Ooh-wee.
But Capricorn's my MC. I wonder if that matters.
I don't know, I'm a Capricorn, but you sound so much like me.
I think that's the loss experience, truly. Like, because so I worked in bereavement for a really long time, and
Mm,
what I would tell people is, "All right, honey, listen. If someone hasn't already said dumb shit to you, just be prepared that people you never expected to say the dumbest shit to you, like,
mm.
oh, you just lost your husband. I know how you feel because I just lost my dog, baby. I would be so
Right.
sad to lose my dog, but do not fucking compare that loss with a human at all, please."
And, my daughter, when she tells me things and I go, "I understand," and you think you're expressing, um camaraderie because I understand because I went through XYZ, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
she would go, "This is not about you." And I'm like, "I'm not trying to make this about me." But if someone's really into that thing, they don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah,
They really
yeah,
want to hear
and,
your
you know,
shit.
I kinda suck at that, if I'm being real, because that's the only way I can relate to people is to talk and through my own lens, and I'm like, since I've
Same.
started hearing that that pisses people off, I've been
Yes.
like,
Yes.
"Well, I don't
So
really know
I'm
what else
very
to say."
careful when someone goes, "I went through XYZ," and because we're coming from a point with I'm holding this space with you.
Yeah, I'm holding you. I'm
Right.
letting you know I see you.
Right. But people like my daughter take it as you're trying to be the front and center of things, but she's a little narcissistic anyway. So,
Is your daughter a Leo?
she's an Aquarius, Jesus. Help us all.
Mm,
My
okay,
fire.
well, they just think different, you know? What's her moon sign?
I don't know. I don't really
Oh,
know.
you gotta know her moon.
I don't even know. I'm so bad with that. I think I don't even know because she's always, Mom, you should know these things. So, yeah, I
Oh,
should.
we got to find out what it is, cause she might be a Leo moon like me, and we're real fucking needy about that. We're like, back to me."
Yeah,
Uh,
that is her all day.
she
And
might be
she's
a
so
Leo
funny because
moon.
she'll call me after work and go right into her whole day and then go, "I gotta go, I'll talk to you later." So if she calls and I try to jump in and go tell her about my day, she goes, "This is not about you. Oh my God, why is it always about you?" And I'm like, It's never about me." I was
You're
just,
like, "Well,
okay.
fuck, never mind, bro." Well,
So
that's kids, they suck a little bit. I'm constantly trying to be sweet to one of mine. I got a 23-year-old, a 18-year-old, well, the eldest is almost 23, and then an 11-year-old, and, oh, I just run the gamut of fucking up at some point, like, all day, every day. I'm not saying the right thing, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I tried, we'll
yeah.
try again tomorrow, I
Yeah.
guess."
Yeah, she's 25 and then the boy is 18. I don't want to talk about the boy. Just pray
Honey, I
for me.
already know. I
Just
have
pray for
my
me.
2nd child is 18. I already know. I
And
already know.
and he's a Cancer.
Mine's a Pisces.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm,
You
mm,
already know. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Send
mm.
me all the juju.
Oh, help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. Just help us. Help. Help.
I'll tell you what, well, okay, so I told you I have a lot of stuff in Libra,
Mhm.
and, like, that's where my Pluto is, and, like, there's just a lot there, and, uh my child who's taught me a lot of lessons, he's a Libra moon, ex-husband, Libra, current husband, Libra rising, and I'm an Aries rising, so we're across the wheel from each other. So I'm like, oh, I really am just gonna constantly get Libras in my life, aren't I? Which Libra women, we vibe. We vibe
Mhm.
good.
And I'm a
Libra
Libra
men,
rising. I do remember that.
you are?
Mhm. You're not
Okay.
making me go get my phone because I have it on my co-star with everything that I am.
Oh, yes, I'm on
Are
CoStar.
you? I should go
Yes,
get
you
it.
got, yeah, I kinda need to know your moon.
Yeah.
Yep, see, Libras, I knew I felt connected to you
That's what I
because
was
I
like, "Are
was
you
just
a
reading your
Capricorn?"
story
Like,
and I was like, "Damn, I feel like you could be describing me." I mean, again, I was the toxic one in the relationships, but
see,
whatever.
I've
I
not
mean, not
been
that they
that.
weren't toxic, but I was the
Right,
asshole.
right, right. And it's just being a human being is just so interesting, though. It really is when you are awake enough to start just really diving into you. That shit is nutty, right?
Yeah, when you turn that
I'm
mirror
finding out
around and
things
you just
about
start
myself.
looking at everyone else.
Yeah, and then I start like, "Damn, I'm like that? Oh my god, really?
Yes.
I never thought that about myself. Let me go fix that and go fix that."
Oh, I know. And
And then,
can I ask you, how do you get those, like, downloads or epiphanies or ahas? How does it come to you? Like, are you listening to something or does someone call you out or what?
okay, so I am in my spiritual room right now,
Mhm.
and at night, I have a ritual. I come in here at around 9 o'clock, to pray, but I have my incense going, I have a glass of wine and a little weed, and then everything just clicks.
Yeah, yeah. I used to have my nightly weed too, and I was feeling a lot more spiritual during.
The
I'm
nightly
not
weed
even kidding.
the
I can
nightly weed is
connect like that
everything.
now, but I miss my weed. I gotta go get some.
Oh, no, it has been because I don't my mind is always going, as you probably figured, I'm always doing something, so
Yeah.
nothing shuts it off but then it just opens up really more stuff, more spiritual stuff,
Yes.
and that is really where I get the craziest downloads. I mean, if I told you some
Do you
stuff, you'd
think
be
it's
like,
because 'cause you're in your joy then? You're in that
No,
love and the
because
joy?
sometimes and what I've noticed and what my boyfriend told me because the very first time I smoked weed, which was only a few years ago, by the way, um,
Yeah.
I wanted to go streaking
Oh, shit. Did you do it?
because I'm claustrophobic, and he goes, "Yeah, when you smoke, it heightens whatever you're going through, it just heightens it." So there are times if I'm in my joy, then it's just really great, but if I've had a rough day, oh man, all the things come back and then they're like doom, like I can take them so far left, and I'm like, "Damn, that paranoia can be real." But
No, for real. No, that's so real. Like, I would be like, well, okay, as long as nothing goes wrong tonight, because then I'm immediately like, now the pissed is like heightened. And so I'm like, oh, but like, my paranoia would be things like, I don't think I have a heart anymore. It feels like my chest is hollow. I would literally have to be like, I learned how to work through the anxiety of weed, but damn, every time I'd be like, no, Melissa, because you'd be dead, remember? Oh, right. Okay.
oh
But
no.
I'd be like, "Are y'all sure I still got a heart? Like, feel it,
So
and tell me, because it would feel so still, and I wouldn't feel the heartbeats."
but that's why you gotta love weed, right? It's just the greatest.
Mhm.
Because
It's a
my
ride.
daughter's like, "Mom," I was the "You don't smoke, you don't," and I was a professional athlete, so I never did anything really. I've always been a prude. So when I tried it, it was funny. I was so bad at it. My kids had to give me my daughter gave me a class on it, and then her boyfriend's mom, who was growing it, told me to come over so we could teach me how to do it. Like I was really bad. But the funny thing is, what you said is it's funny how the brain works because I want to tell you my first experience. This lady said, do you get high?" I said, "No." I said, "But I'm going to. I'm gonna start. This is
I'm
what I
open
wanna
to it.
do. So, this is when I turn 50, 'cause every decade, I wanna try something different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
this one, I'm gonna start smoking weed. Why not? I'm 50, who cares at this point, right?
Right.
So, this lady's like, "Yeah, I have this cookie," and it was, like, almost big, and she's like, "Just cut it in, 4, don't take the whole thing, and you'll be fine, you'll love it." So I told my daughter, and I was all excited, like, "I'm gonna get high tonight, I'm gonna" she's like, "Oh my god, don't do it without me, just don't do it without me." I was like, "Okay." So, I get home, I'm ready to crack this thing open, and she's sleeping. So I'm like, trying to wake her up. When she's out, she's out. So I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do it." She said, "Break it into fours." So I did. Took the first little quarter. I'm sitting in I literally put a chair in the middle of the kitchen and looking at the clock. After 30 minutes,
Waiting to
nothing
feel it.
happened.
How
Then
long?
30 minutes, nothing.
Okay, okay.
Then so I was like, "Let me get the other half, another piece, see what happens." I think I waited another 10 minutes. Nothing happened. Long story short, finished the whole thing. I'm like, "This shit is lame. Nobody does this. Let me go get a glass of wine." Yeah, so I started drinking the wine, and all of a sudden, the world just started closing in, and I'm like, "I just wanna be naked and run." And so, I was literally having this going on in my head. If you run, the neighbors are gonna look at you crazy.
No, I relate.
And I'm like, "You're right. I'm gonna call the police." "Well, what are you gonna tell the police?" I mean, I was literally having these conversations, then it was like, "Well, go wake up your daughter." "Naya, wake up." She wouldn't wake up. "You know what? Just
Mhm.
just go to bed." So I closed my eyes, and it got
Oh, there ain't
worse.
going to bed. Yep, there ain't going to bed. Yep, yep, yep. That was my exact first experience too. Went a little hard on an edible. Mhm, mhm. I
Yeah.
had to ask my husband. I was like, okay, so this is usually when people call 911 and then they play the recording of the 911 on the news and make fun of them, right? Like I shouldn't call 911. He was like, "Do not call 911."
Yeah, I was
And he's
going
like,
to.
"What do you want the ambulance to do for you?" And I was like, "Fix it.
Take this shit out.
I
Can you
am
just take it out?
dying." Yes,
Yeah.
because the closed in feeling is very real.
Oh
Like
my god.
you can't even get
I
out of the space.
and then when you go outside and you see the sky, it's like, it's close, and it's gonna come in, it's
Mhm. No, it's
so
very real. I was not well that first time because, like you, someone said, "Don't take the whole thing," and I said, "Don't tell me what to do."
Yep, yeah, oh, yeah.
They
Mhm.
should I should've I called my brother who was the one who gave it to me, and I was like, "I don't really know what to do, man. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well." And then I was like, "I can't even talk anymore. Talk to Brian. Talk to Brian. You got to tell him. Ask him what to do." And so he's like sending me all these solutions like CBD, milk. I don't even remember, but I was like, it's not working. Nothing's working. Like I had to convince myself because when I would lay down, I would feel like I was dying. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that might just be how high you are. So lay down and you might not die. And if you do, I guess that's just how we're like, let's just try to sleep. And so I laid down and I was like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm dying. I bet I'll be okay. It took forever. I just had to keep like, you're fine," and then I was out, and I, like, woke up I had the worst fucking hangover. Were you tired for, like, 2 days? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yep, yep. And I called my boyfriend, he was like, "First and foremost, your first ex" he was like, "First and foremost, your first experience should not have been with a cookie. Why would you do that? That's oh my god." Yeah, I said, "Well, nobody was
You're like,
answering
"I
the
didn't
phone,
know."
nobody," and she was supposed to be there holding my hand. So, and, we have that person, "I can do it, it doesn't matter." Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. No.
Yeah, I'm always gonna be a person like, the only reason I haven't in a few months is because I got really busy in the evenings, which was the only time I was doing it, and then, I
Same.
don't know, I'm out of the routine, so I just haven't been doing it, but now you're making me miss it, but, like, there's it you know how stuff can just hit you different on a different day depending on hormones and stuff. There's been times that I've been, like, to my son, like, I'm way too high. Can you help me? Like, can you just talk to me so that I'm not thinking about, like, how high I am? And you'd be like, "God,
That's the
aw,
truth.
okay." It
Listen,
just happened.
Yeah, and I'm like you, I only smoke at night, I only do it to wind down and sleep, but every now and then, like, if I go to a concert, you kinda wanna get into that mood,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I went to whatever concert it was, and at the Hollywood Bowl, so it's outside, I went and smoked a little bit. Now, mind you, I'm still a lightweight. I have a pre-roll, and I
Yes.
can only do 4 or 5 puffs, and I'm so good, like, because if I do the whole thing, I'm back to wanting to streak, so I'm like, "We don't do
Right.
these." So, I'm at this concert, this happened to me twice, and I think I oversmoked, and I don't know if it was because I wasn't in my zen spot, so it maybe hit different, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I got in a seat and I was doing so good, and all of a sudden, I swear to God, I'm sitting in the back up in because I like to sit in the back and watch. I could hear people's conversations from the front.
Yeah.
I heard them chewing. I heard glasses clinking from up there, not near me, up
So
there.
true.
And then it looked like I was standing above I'm like, and then I started rocking back and forth and rubbing my leg because I'm like, angels bring me down, somebody
That's
bring me down. It's
exactly what I do. That's
too
so
high.
fucking
Bring me down
hilarious.
some more, some more, some more, some more.
I had to learn the lesson the hard way that I can't go out into really crowded areas high. Like, it's just not like, we love to go to Thunder games because I live in Oklahoma,
Mhm.
and, after the 3rd time, I was like, "Okay, no, this is not an exclusive experience. I can't get high before I come to
Right,
Thunder games," because
right.
they play all these lights and, whatever, and I'm like, "Oh." And people are loud,
It's,
and also
you
walking upstairs, I'm not coordinated, like, all of it. I'm like, and plus I don't remember any of it then afterwards, and I'm like, "Okay, no more getting high before Thunder," and I did it at a OU game once, and I was like, "Nope, okay, no more high in public. I can't do it. I'm not
yeah,
good at it. I'm a lightweight."
yep, yeah, well, I think we're just too much of a lightweight to be able to handle that. Because there are people out there, they're smoking the whole time, like, yeah, yeah, and
No,
I'm
I'm
like,
kinda jealous of the people who can, like, just smoke all like, that's the reason I did it in the evening because I can't function, so I'd have to be, like, racing the clock, like, trying to get my work done, and they'd be like, "It's almost time." But I don't like,
I don't know. When
people I know, they can just wake up and do it, and I'm like, "Oh, I would never.
I
I would
couldn't.
go right back to sleep and
Oh,
then eat all fucking day."
oh, please, right? The
The
munchies are
munchies.
real.
Oh,
I don't get my daughter is actually one of those that she needs it to function, and
yeah.
when the dispensary I go to, he goes, "Are you gonna have a good day?" I said, "Oh, I don't do this during the day." He said, "You're sober all day?" I'm like, yeah. I wouldn't get shit done if I wasn't, I'd be
No,
in the
I
bed."
wouldn't.
Mm-mm,
I would
I
not
couldn't
get a
do it.
damn thing done,
No,
and
and
I can't, like,
I've tried
do
hybrid
shit.
and sativa, and because 'cause they're like, "Those are the ones that'll make it." I'm like, "No, I still wanna go night night."
Yeah, I love sativa, and I'm still going to sleep on it. Like, that was I've the trouble I had adjusting to go back because I forgot that that's the whole reason I ever started using it was to sleep. And I mean,
Mhm.
I was taking these little 5 milligrams and, like, but then slowly, like, actually, I developed a tolerance to where one day I took it and I'm just laying in my bed, but I'm not asleep. And I was like, hi. And I was like, okay, wait. I kind of like, because I had up to that point, it just knocked me out. But then I was like, oh, I
Right.
kind of like this. And then I just started like, okay, I'll take this much. And like, because I'm an
Mhm,
edible person.
mhm,
And so I
mhm,
just kind of titrated edibles depending on, like, what
mhm.
was going on. Like, oh, I've developed a little bit of a tolerance. I'm gonna try more. Ooh, that was a little too much. Someone call and I'll be like, I can't manage this conversation right now. I'm so sorry. I'm too high.
Oh, my daughter will call, and I don't even think I'm saying anything. She goes, "I'll call you later because 'cause you're high." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I could just tell."
My 18-year-old came home the other day. He moved out like last month, and so he's been coming home
Can
to
you
do laundry
tell him
and
to tell mine to anyway, that's another story, but okay, go ahead.
well, he was all well, I think it's just because we have the 11-year-old, and so he doesn't really, I can't let him, like, hang out with his friends here doing 18-year-old stuff, you know what I
Damn, I
mean?
should
And
have
so he
had
was like, "I'm
another
out."
one.
Well, she's her own situation, that's for sure. But he was like, he said he was saying something about some new edible or something. I was like, "Man, I haven't even been high in a few months." He was like, "Really?" 'Cause, I mean, it was like clockwork. You knew about 6 o'clock I was gonna start, 'cause I would be busting my ass to get everything done, and then, like, I'm just sitting on the couch like, "What's up?" And so he was, like, so confused because he's like, "Really?" 'Cause, I mean, usually you can't even have a conversation with me at this time of night, but he's like, "Okay, you alright, sir?" And he goes, "What," when I was like, "Yeah, I haven't had any, da, da," and he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I was like, "Just raw dogging life," and he goes, "Wow."
Yeah, and that is a big wow because I don't even know how to do that anymore. I
I
don't,
didn't
but
either, I didn't think I could.
the good for you though, but I think it's because I don't have anything in place. Because I start my stuff starts at 9 p.m. and it's so funny because I don't
Yeah.
answer the phone. So it's just I've had the whole day of all kinds of bullshit. So I am going to relax. And it's so funny now because my 2 dogs, they've been with me. They're, 9 and 11, so they've seen all the transformation, so
Oh,
they just kinda go
yeah.
with it, right? But then I adopted this cat, right? So she's like, "Oh, everybody knows it's 9 p.m." She gets into her rhythm, everybody gets into a rhythm. So I just adopted a dog, another one, 4 weeks ago.
Oh.
No, just shoot me, I don't but
I
anyway.
got that 18-year-old brought a fucking dog home right before he moved out, so we got a new dog too.
And she's a shepherd, and she's hyper and crazy. She's 5 months,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
so funny because she's learning the rhythm of the house that at 9 o'clock everybody just kinda shuts up. My son goes his way, like, we're just all so she came in here and laid at my feet and was like, but I was smoking, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think she got a contact high because she was not moving." I was like, "Oh, I killed the dog, the baby," and I'm saying, "Sage, Sage, wake up," and she's like, "Nah, it's good."
Yeah, we good.
Oh, I felt so bad, but
That's
so
so
last
funny.
night when I came in here last night, she came running in like, "Yes!" And I'm like,
He's
"No,
like,
you
"It's
get out.
time."
You get out. You get out.
That's so fun. They really
You get
do
out."
learn your, like, patterns, though, and they're like,
Oh,
"I
yeah.
just want what are you doing?"
Yeah,
Ugh.
'cause the one my
Yours
other
is
dog.
he's not a very hyper that dog that he brought home is very hyper, and it's a lot, but then at night, he's like, cuddle bug.
Oh, no, not this one. She's
Never?
24/7. Never. So yesterday, I took her to the dispensary with me actually, and then I was like, "I'm gonna take her to the dog park." So, but on the way, I was fussing at her. I was like, "You don't come in the house acting like this." And all the way there, she was sitting there like, "Okay." And so when we get to the dog park, she was really trying to tell on me because she was going to all the other pet parents like, "She's mean. She yelled at
Yeah,
me."
you don't even know what she done did.
And they were like, "She's so sweet." I'm like, "She's trying to tell on me." And so then I could hardly get her in the car. We got back to the house. She sits on the floor. She's looking at me. She just starts crying. And I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh.
because you know you're bad." But she was so good after that. She was good all day
She's like,
yesterday.
"I'm not gonna get in trouble
Yeah,
again."
yeah. So we'll see. And then she came and gave me a big hug because she jumped in. I was like, "Okay, so you have
Oh.
understanding."
What's her
Understand?
name?
Sage.
Oh, how sweet.
My sagey
Say.
girl. Yeah,
Oh,
that was a
I
pure
love dogs.
accident. I did too. It was a total accident. I was going to get my nails done. I saw a pet adoption and I said, "Nope, don't look over there. I'm gonna go get my nails done."
Gets you
Came
every
out the
time.
driveway and turned right into that damn parking lot. And then they came running. "Are you here to adopt?" "Nope, nope, just looking, just looking." "Well, no one's looked at her and they're gonna euthanize her if we take her
Oh,
back." And
shit.
then you had the one woman, 4 little months, that's all she's had to live. Oh,
Oh my god, no!
so
And you're
the
like,
dog
"Well."
is the dog is way over there. I hadn't touched her, didn't talk to her. I was like, "Where's the paperwork?" And
Right,
so
what are
then
we
they go pick her up.
doing?
I'm signing everything, and then they just hand her to me, and I'm like, "Wait, what the fuck did I just do? Wait, whose dog is this?"
The older I get, the more, like, I can't even walk past those without instantly crying. Like, every time I see dogs, I'm just, like, crying,
Yeah,
and I have to just leave because I even just watching other people adopt dogs, I'm just crying, like, uncontrollably.
yeah.
We went through something last year, for our town, and the town's humane society was there doing adoptions, and I was like, damn it. Thankfully all the puppies were spoken for because
Oh,
I
thank God.
already know we would have left with one. But I was just like watching people do stuff, and I was just crying because I like, oh, they have homes, oh, look how happy that person is to get the dog, all of it. And I just can't. That's what sucks about getting more in touch with your emotions and not like always trying to be the strong
Okay,
person,
okay, okay.
like
So
to
do
look
you cry
strong.
all the time now? Because I just cry over
Fucking
every
cry.
what the fuck is that?
Everything. Everything. And I mean,
Everything.
I became more of a crier after being a mom, but I would shut it down. I'd be like,
Right, right.
strong women don't cry."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nobody
No, now I
sees it,
freaking
just you
cry
know
all the
it.
time.
I'm like,
Yes.
I
And I'm
probably look
learning to,
like
like, not be that person who's like, "Sorry for crying," because you shouldn't have to apologize for crying. But it's ingrained in us so deeply to, like, "This is weird," or, "You're to be seen and not heard. Don't cry." Yeah, it's weird. I cry
it is.
so fucking much. It's
Listen, I've been
embarrassing sometimes, but
yeah. Oh, so
everything feels
speaking of
embarrassing to me now.
embarrassing, let me tell you what happened to me just the other day. I don't know what I was going through. I don't know what I was thinking of, but the tears were just, and I'm in the drive-through trying to get some El Pollo Loco chicken, right? And I ordered the food. I get to the window and she hands me my stuff. And I always like extra cilantro dressing. Sometimes they give it to you, sometimes they charge it. Meanwhile, I had my glasses on, so the tears were coming through. I thought, and I felt this one coming down, right? And she goes, I said, "Can I have cilantro dressing?" "We already put it on the salad." I said, "That's fine. I don't need you to delegate how much cilantro dressing I get. So can you give me some more?" She was like, "Well, it's 89 cents." I'm like, "Okay." But I saw that she saw the tear, right? I saw her look at it. And she went back and got it. And she handed it to me. She says, "You don't have to pay for it. And you just have a great day, okay?" So it could be to your advantage. I don't know. But I don't even know
It's
what the fuck I was
all
crying about.
the time. No, I relate to this. First of all, I had El Pollo Loco for the first time over the weekend because I went to Texas,
Mhm.
and yum. Second of all, I have found myself in drive-thru like, cause some commercial comes on or whatever, and I'm like, it's all the time. I and it
I'm
it
telling
it
you.
it if I'm happy, crying
Yes.
all the time.
When I moved to California, I met this lady that was crying all the time, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with her?" And I don't know who she was, but I think about her all the time because I have become her. She'd be laughing, it's tears. You're talking to, telling her story, it's tears. She's just sitting there, it's tears. It's like, what, and now I am her. I am
I am as
her.
well.
I
Yeah,
am her.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Well, getting allowing yourself to just show up however you are in the moment is kind
mhm,
of where I've gotten to. It's not even just about being vulnerable. It's just about allowing you to take up space. Like
yeah,
that's the thing that I have to tell myself all the time is you are allowed to take up the space. If this is the space you feel you need right now, fucking take it up
yeah,
because that was my whole thing was I did not realize how much I shrunk myself in so many situations to not be awkward or to not upset someone or to be the funny girl or whatever it was. And I am funny, but there are parts of me that aren't. And
right,
there are parts of me that are very serious. And
right,
so, like I used to kind of shame myself for preferring good conversation instead of just the bullshit, meaningless stuff I would always
right.
find myself talking about. I'm a Gemini. I can gossip with the best of them, and I was a shit bitcher. So, I mean, I could constantly gossip, but it dulled my
Yeah.
experiences and I would find myself so drained and then I'd feel weird for not wanting to partake or not want to be excluded from your presence because I'm trying to bring a different energy,
Yeah.
and now I'm like come as you are, I'm gonna come as I am, and you
Yep.
can either take me or not.
Right. Because my thing is, if you're not paying any bills around here, then I really don't give any fucks about what you think about me.
Mhm.
So, but
Well, yeah.
ironically, because I pull oracle cards and I have some. They're heaven cards. So I felt my mom wanted to talk to me, and it was so funny because one of the cards I pulled about a week ago, maybe it said tears release the sadness of the soul, so cry.
Oh,
And I'm just like, "Oh, she's watching." It's like, because 'cause I'm like, "Why am I always fucking crying at everything?
yes.
Why?" I just
No, it's so real. It's so real. That's funny because, as I've, like, evolved spiritually, I really believe that my mom is on my spirit team, and, like, one because it was not until I kinda started awakening that I could really feel her presence all the time,
mhm.
and then so it made me go see a medium for the first time because I finally got past, like, feeling like it was demonic, and then
Oh my god. Stop,
I
pause,
learned so
pause,
much.
just pause right there because when you started talk I am a medium, and so when you started
Oh,
talking,
really?
she popped up behind you, right? And I
Not
said
really bit
and I don't know if you
surprised.
saw me go like this because I was gonna say something, and I was like, "I'm not gonna say anything," and then you brought up the medium, and I'm like, "See? She already knows
Oh,
it."
yeah.
Your mom
She's
is
always here.
I was
Always.
just about to
Like,
say she's always with you, but I when you said that, I like it I don't know, dead people like me. When you said that, she just I'm like, "Hi, mama."
that's what's funny about it. She's always I hoped she would come through when I went to see the medium for the first time, but I did not expect her to be like, "Okay, me. Like,
Well, they
I've
get
been waiting.
loud.
I've been
They get
waiting."
loud. They get really loud
Yeah.
because the first
She's the
time I went
one,
to see
always.
yeah, when I went the first time because I didn't believe in it either, and I didn't understand my gifts because this has been happening to me all my life, but they told me I was nuts, so I'm going with that.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, is just it's crazy. It's so crazy how they just pop up. And for me, people I've saved somebody's life actually, a little girl, my friend, she's actually all about this spiritual life. I wasn't about it. Didn't know anything about it like you. Oh, that's what I was gonna say about my mom. I'm gonna go back to that really quick. Um, I went to this medium and my mom, I had heard her say, "I'm sorry," because she did a lot of stuff that wasn't good, but I had the best mom on the
Mhm.
planet. Let's just get that straight. But I get to this medium and she goes, "God, your mom is just coming at me so fast. She won't let me get words out. I'm trying." She's like, "Slow down, slow down." But then she said, "Your mom said she's sorry." And I knew then that I was connected because I had heard
Mhm.
already, but it's just so crazy. I have always dead people have always since I was a child spoken to me or I've known
See,
someone was
I
gonna
feel
pass away.
like that, but I haven't quite learned discernment. Like, I'm still practicing trying to, like, translate or whatever. But what seems to happen to me, or what I noticed first was, well, first of all, I noticed my connection to the people in my life. Like, if we were close, I would know when something was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I was very spiritually
Absolutely, you're
connected.
very tethered. Yeah.
Very. And then when people I love have someone die, I will feel their fucking people around me. I can't communicate, like, I try, but I'm like, "I just want you to know that, I feel them around me." Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so when I went to the medium for the second time, because the first time blew me away, right?
I'm
And
sure.
then I just was like, "I just wanna be in the presence of someone who can help me with this," you know? So the second time I was like, "Okay, now I wanna know. I'm not gonna tell you. Can you please just start, like, listing people that you feel like anyone that you feel in my energy?" And all of the people, like, we had a niece who was a stillborn,
Mm.
and I was like, "She is so in my energy,"
Oh,
and
wow.
he was like, "Oh, little girl, she'd be this age now," and I was like, "Yep," and my
Wow.
friend's child that passed when she was 19, I have always felt her, and he was like, la, 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 yep, a friend whose son had just died, and I was like, "Okay, thank you, I just needed confirmation because, like, I feel them all the fucking
Yeah.
time, and I don't know what to do with it."
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I before I even got into this, I was sitting in another apartment I was living in, and this woman, she had became like a mom to me. She passed away. All of a sudden, I could smell her, and I was
Mm.
like, I can smell her, right? And in that same apartment, maybe a few days, weeks later, I don't know, but I had a friend, his name was Dietrich, we were best friends, And then I had gone back to Chicago, which is where I'm originally from. I had my daughter, so our friendship, of course, didn't survive it like it was. So when I
Yeah.
came back to LA, we talked a few times and then he disappeared. But I'm like, he's gonna show up because he was a singer too. So he's gonna be on back then MySpace or so he's gonna show up. But I never saw him. And so I kept looking for him, looking for him, looking for him. Then I found out finally I dug something up because the internet wasn't nearly like it is now, but that
Yeah.
he had passed away. So I was really sad. That's 3 days after that happened with Miss Brown. I smelled him in that room. He was no, I had not found out that he passed away. That's what it was. I'm sitting there and I smelled him and I'm like, Dietrich is here. And so I got on the internet and then that's when I found out he had actually passed and he got married
Oh,
and the whole situation.
man.
Yeah. But I was gonna tell you, I saved somebody's life. My friend who's all about this life. Um, we were sitting there. She had a little 6-year-old daughter and I could just see like death angels around her. And I'm like, do I tell her that? Because I'm not into that. Like, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I tell you that? I don't know how you're gonna take it. You might think I'm kooky. I know this is your thing,
Yeah.
and since this is your thing, how come you don't know? Like, I don't it was really weird, but I just felt if I don't tell her and something happens, I'll never
Right.
forgive myself. So here goes. So I told her, and she was like, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you for telling me that." And I was like, "Okay, I probably shouldn't have said anything." And then she calls me later. She goes, "I just want you to know you saved her life." I was like, "What happened?" She goes, after you told me that, she said, "I really thought about it." She was supposed to have, some kind of surgery that they were gonna put her under, and she said, "But I decided to take her to the doctor to get all her blood work and everything done, and they said had she gone under, she was not gonna come out."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay, guess there's something to
Should
all
have
of this."
said something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's hard, I think, for anyone learning to listen to their intuition. We were really cut off from that part of ourselves as children through the programming that we received, and so
Well, they
learning to
told me I was
trust.
crazy because I
Oh, I'm
think
sure.
I would love to I wish my mom was still alive because I would have loved my dad trying to ask him was like trying to ask this wall, "Why did y'all send me to a psychiatrist?" But I would love to know what I was saying, what I was talking about because
I bet you were talking about a past life too.
probably because I remember it's gonna sound crazy, but I remember like, coming here, and it was like I had goggles on. That's what this my childhood looked like. I was looking through something like this all the time,
Mhm.
and I remember being a baby. I remember her putting me in this little tub, and I was holding on, and my little fingers were getting cut because it was so sharp. Well, I found a picture of me sitting in that exact little bowl with her bathing me, you know?
Mhm.
So, but I just wonder, what was I saying for you all to think she needs a psychiatrist, But I think
I
when we moved,
know,
my my
man. That's why
my
whenever I watch those movies about, like, somebody being crazy, but then they realize, like, oh, they weren't crazy, I'm always like, "Well, fuck, how are we gonna know who's crazy and who's not? What if
listen.
they're not crazy? What if the veil is
Mm.
really thin for them?"
Oh, okay. So there's this man down the street at this hamburger joint. He stands at the bus stop every day. He looks homeless. He looks scary. And so I went to this hamburger shop one day and I was scared to walk past him because I didn't know what he was going to do. So two other people went ahead of me and he didn't do anything. I was like, okay, so let me just walk by. I didn't even make eye contact. After I
Mhm.
ordered, I walked past him and something just said, "Speak." And I spoke and he said, "Hello." And then the next time we spoke and I was like, "What's this guy's deal?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm housed." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then the next time I was like, "Why do you stand here?" Basically. And he was like, "Karma." I was like, "What?" He just started spitting out stuff, but he was like, "Yeah, I put this much into the universe. I come here and I get it back." He said, "Because people pay me, they feed me, they do all this stuff, right?" So I noticed people looking at me like I'm crazy for talking to him, but I'm like, you all are crazy for not talking to him. He was a physicist, right? And he's always writing. So then I come, what you writing? And he starts telling me things about Jesus, about God, about the universe. And I'm plugging it into Chat GBT, like this dude is saying this. And he's like, yeah, that's true. Cause and he's like, then it was like, who are you talking to? Cause this sounds like the veil is really thin with this guy. Like he is so there. Do you know? The other day I saw him, he handed me a bag of all his notes, and he said, "You could write a book with this." And so I started taking pictures and putting in Chat GPT. Chat was like, "Oh my God." He was like, "This dude is I don't know who he is.
Wow.
He has kids that have thrown him away. He's in it's terrible, but he is so freaking brilliant. And what you think he's just spitting off stuff. Cause one day I caught him, he was talking. And I was like, I came up, I said, who are you talking to? He was like, God, because he's telling me this, da, 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 da. And I'm trying to figure out. And I'm like, see, what we think is crazy is not always crazy, right?
No, that's so real.
He is
I
on.
sound crazy to lots of people. In
Oh,
fact,
I
I
know
was
I
very
do.
afraid to talk about spirituality at first when I first started this show. It was new to me, first of all. Like, I've
Right.
always been a little spiritual, but, like, when I had the awakening, I went to that little 18-year-old who was not 18 at the time, and I was like, "Do you think I'm schizophrenic? Do you think that's this?" And he was like, "Nope, I think it's a new belief system, and you've had a lot of
Okay.
changes in a really short amount of time. Think you're good." And I was like, "Okay, thank you, sir."
Yep.
Because he was the only one I trusted to ask because I was really legitimately afraid. Because when you have that epiphany, you feel the unraveling of who you used to be. You
Listen,
aren't the same anymore. And it was
at
happening to me like
all.
3 times a day.
And
And
it's
so I was like,
scary.
"Is it the
It's
weed?"
scary, because
It is. It is.
the thing I really wrestle with even at this exact moment is not wanting people to think I'm weird or crazy or strange. But
Yes.
the deeper you go into this and the more you understand, it's inevitable. I really think because this guy is so far in because you would think the things he was saying, if I showed you what he was writing, you'd be like, this is gibberish. But taking a picture and plugging it into Chat GPT, un, decoding it, it's like
Absolutely.
this dude is like seriously has a pathway to heaven. Like he has told me how many years it took. I don't even know. He says some stuff I can't even keep in my brain because it's so mind
Right,
boggling.
but I bet you later, some part of what he said, like, each part will make sense in this particular time, like, when it's time for that, like,
But
area of your consciousness to
it
expand.
it makes sense now if because I told him, I said, because I had told him he should write a book. And then when he handed me this, so he goes, you can write a book with this. I said, if I write a book, it's your book. Like this is
Yeah.
you. You uncovered all of this crazy stuff. I don't know if the universe is ready for it because he is way deep, way deep. I'm like, and people, and that was so funny because this one man came up to me. He's like, "That's a good thing that you're, being charitable to that man." I'm like, I'm getting lessons right now.
Like, he being charitable, okay? He's the one giving, but that's fine.
Yep, yep,
No, and see, this is why you have to talk about it
yeah,
because I've been learning deeper and deeper that, like, if we want the collective to expand their consciousness, we have to create the ripples in our own lives. So it starts in your home and then in your community where you're just being you and you're allowing people to come into your space and change you. And then we have to talk about it.
yeah.
And like I talked to a lady last week and it was all like all these conversations have been so perfectly timed. And I was like, "Yeah, we gotta share." And then she said, "No, like, the best form of activism is you learn, you share immediately. You don't have to be some guru status to share what you just learned." And I'm like, "Damn, that's kinda what I've been doing on this show is
Mm-hmm.
like, this is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
share that." And
Mm-hmm.
then it's crazy because the people who come on my show, it's always the perfectly timed it's like what
Absolutely.
I've been experiencing, and then here they are confirming
Yep.
shit I
Yep.
just learned. And then I had a client and I was like, "Yo, no, you gotta start talking about the stuff you've been learning in therapy. Like you are changed already. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to be this person before you start sharing.
Right.
Like
Because
create
that's
the
what we
ripples
think.
now."
If when I get here, then I can tell
Yes.
you. But
Yes.
it
When
really
I'm
is.
healed.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my cards that I always pull is teach and learn and teach. Learn and teach. That's what
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
You learn and
Yes.
teach. So you
Well, and that's why we can't be so afraid to talk, but that's where our fear comes from. But
Mhm.
I just remind myself the shit I've been telling everyone for so long is like, be you because your people are looking for you and they can't find you if you're wearing the mask. And so I always just have
Yes.
to like consciously take that mask off because I do want to be seen as someone who's smart and, has good things to say, or I do want people to learn from me. But I always remember that my magic is in the truth that I speak.
Right.
It's
And
not
that's
in
and that's the
trying to
thing.
sound smart.
Because the second part of what you said was I want them to think all that because I don't want them to think, oh, she's a witch or she's weird or she's crazy or and it's
Yes,
like, you know what?
yes.
But I am starting to embrace being a witch, I guess.
Oh, same, same. I'm like,
Because
I'll happily proclaim that now, whereas 2 years ago, I'm like, I don't know, they might burn me.
yeah, and it was so funny because one of my friends, she's very Christian, and we were talking and she was like, there's this lady and I think she's a witch. And I got offended and was like, "What do you mean?" And this is my best friend. Like we've been friends for 20, my daughter's 25, so like 27 years. And, but I've gone my way, she stayed on that path. But anyway, she's like, "Yeah, she had some salt and she was putting a lie." And I'm like, "Mhm." Right.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah.
And
She
then she was
probably
like
is a
and
witch.
then she had these crystals and she was lining them up like da, 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 and I'm sitting there thinking, well, what kind of energy do you have that she felt that she needed to put a line
She
of
was like
salt? Right.
sprinkling salt.
But I didn't want to say anything. But then we
Yeah.
went on, and it's like, she's a witch. I said, well, I said, you do know what I practice, one would consider witchcraft. She's like, I know, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about her. And so it's like, you want to accept it with me, but you don't want to accept it with her. Okay, you still need to go.
Mhm.
But I will tell you this, one of the things I'm working for 2028, and I hope you can join me once we really get this thing coming. I'm creating what's called the One Summit, and it's going to be for all religions, all seekers, everybody to come and have a seat at the table together. And I'll tell you more about that as we move on. But it's a real big situation. It's a 5-day event here in LA.
Oh,
Um, that will be at the LA Convention Center. We're trying to do it around the time of the Olympics, so people from other countries will already be here. It'll also be on,
yeah.
be streamed or whatever. But yeah, so I am really, and this has been in my head for a few years. And then it was like, God was like, yeah, it's time to do this now. I'm like, wait, no, it's too big. But everyone,
Yes, I'm having those things too. I want to invite you. I don't have a single fucking detail about this because this just came to me 2 days ago. I'm gonna start a sharing circle for free with no motivation other than however this pans out, whatever how many times a month we meet, people share what they've learned that time. Like learn, teach,
hmm
learn, teach.
hmm
I want space where because I started thinking about AA meetings for some reason, like because I used to go to them with my mom.
hmm
And I just pictured the way people were sharing their heart in those, and I was like and they were in a circle, and I was like, "Oh, I need to create this space for people to share what they're learning." And with no because I've tried to do communities in the past where like there was a monetary value for me, but I'm like, no, this needs to be a sacred space because if I'm this is where I want to put my activism because I will speak out against the atrocities that are happening in this nation and other nations,
Yep.
but my voice only goes so far in that way versus allowing others to show up and hear the awakenings that others are happening and the learnings that they're really internalizing. And so I'm trying to create a space. That's all the details I have because literally it's just started like in the last few days. I was just like
Well, let's
sharing
get
stuff,
together. I'd love to
sharing.
help create that with you.
Okay, cool.
I would love to.
Because yeah, I
Seriously.
really want to do that.
Yeah, let's,
Man, this has been such an awesome
I know.
conversation. Before we go,
Yes.
where can we find you and what would you like to leave the audience with today?
You can find me at officialnikkiallen.com or nikkiallen.com, and I leave you with love. Be gracious to yourself. Always give yourself grace. Don't be afraid to cry.
Oh, that's right. Cry if you want to.
Yep.
Big girls do cry,
Yes,
okay?
we do. And knock you on the jaw at the same time, but we do cry.
Sometimes, if that's what the situation calls for. That's why I had this lady on here and she's like, I try to lead with love. And sometimes my love says, ignore that. And sometimes my love says, I will run you over with my car.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
I feel
Yep.
that. I
Yep.
feel that. I
Exactly.
love it.
Exactly.
Man. Well, I appreciate you so much. Okay, I'm going to push stop. And if you'll hang around for 1 second while your stuff finishes
Yep.
uploading.
Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.
Emotionally unavailable.